to me. Hey guys, welcome to Whimsical Wednesday. I'm a couple minutes late. I'm so sorry, y'all. I thought I was completely set up hours ago. Anyway, welcome to Whimsical Wednesday here on Dixie Belle's main Facebook page. My name is Tracy, and I'm here every single Wednesday night. I'm a brand ambassador for Dixie Belle, and am madly in love with all things Dixie Belle, and you never know what we're going to be doing on this night. So I posted earlier today that we're going to be working on these two mid-century modern, hello Tammy, mid-century modern nightstands behind me. Actually, we're just going to be working on one of them, and I cannot wait to show you what we're doing. It's gonna look so good. Hi Nancy, thanks you guys for saying hello. Please, when you join us, if you will just tell us your name. Well, you don't tell me your name. Facebook tells me your name, but tell me where you're tuning in from. Say hello if you're a regular, if you're a new and you want to join this regular crowd. We meet here at 7 o'clock every single Wednesday night. Dixie Belle is fantastic. Pat, you have internet. Yay, I'm so happy. Dixie Belle is here behind the scenes to answer any questions that I will miss as I start to work. So ask away, just type your questions in, say hello to your buddies, ask questions that I can check for comments later. Dixie Belle is fantastic about constantly providing videos every single day around the clock to show you, not to just promote their products, but to show you how to really use them. You can watch us struggle with them until we win. You can watch us use them easy peasy, because most of the products, this is what I love about them the most, is that they're so simple to use that they make everyone feel like a rock star painter. So that is like the major selling point to me. Super ease of use. We have lots of retailers that are coming on right now saying hello. If you guys, Pat actually is, what was that thing, Pat, that you experienced, a Derico or something like that? I'd never even heard of that word until I saw your post. Did not even know what that was. I'm glad you're okay. I'm sorry that you guys have been through so much. Caroline, thank you. Thank you. The blog comes out this weekend. Had my grandson's nursery, comes out this weekend. Anyway, I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you're okay. Anyway, she is a retailer. So if you are a retailer, hi Treva, hi Wendy, just feel free to share your link right here. That way, if someone is in your area and they want to be able to go to your store and check out the paints in person, that is fabulous. A lot of people need it to be that way. If you are someone who likes to click and order, you've got my link at the top of this video. I have provided a link. It says you can order your paints and products right here at this link. Just feel free to click right there. And they offer $10 shipping for anything over $50, and you can get it delivered to your door. Okay, let's get to the meat of what we're doing tonight. We are going to use a product that you don't see me use a whole lot. We're using mud, and I don't know why I don't use it that often. I got away from stencils for a while. I used to use them years and years ago a lot, and I think I kind of just burned myself out on them. I do a lot of freehand painting, a lot of my own art, but then we also got we got into transfers, and I just kind of broke away from them a little bit. But I used to use mud with stencils, but you can also, this is Dixie Belle Mud right here. This is the white. You can also use sea spray to do this technique that I'm going to share with y'all tonight, right now. Sarah from Spain. Hi, honey. Glad to see you on here. Hi, Deb. Hello there, Dawn. Thanks you guys all for being here. Hi, Linda. Yay! I'm so glad you finally decided to speak up. Thank you. Let's see, you can also use Dixie Belle Sea Spray. It's a texture additive that you can put into your paint, and you can use that for what we're going to do, as well as stencils. We're not stenciling tonight, but you can use sea spray as well. You just add it into your paint. It feels sort of like cornstarch powder, baby powder cornstarch. Put it in your paint. You can make it as thin as you want or as thick as you want, and you can make raised stencils, or you can do exactly what we're going to do tonight with that as well. But this is already mixed up for you. It's super easy to use. It comes in 3 colors. This is an 8-ounce jar that it comes in. I believe it's like $10. I'm not sure, about around 10 bucks, I think. It goes a long way, and it comes in, this is white, it comes in brown and black as well. So not only can you use it to add texture, to stencil with, add texture, you can also use it for repairs, like you would use wood filler and Bondo, same thing. It has no smell at all. It does need to be refrigerated after you've opened it. It lasts longer that way. It's very whipped. It's a whipped product. You're gonna give it just a second. There you go. See that? You're going to see me use a lot of it here in just a minute, but that's what it looks like. What else can I tell you about it? It repairs corners. You can repair legs, chips, dents. If you want to smooth out surfaces, it's fast drying, very fast drying, and easy to sand back. So I can't wait to show you what we're doing. So these nightstands, let me give you a little background. These are for a local client here. She's actually a friend of mine. She lives about 45 minutes away. And her and her husband just built a gorgeous, fabulous, enormous new home. And they have a very eclectic style. And their bedroom is very elegant. It is grays and ivories and a little bit of a mix of metals like silvers and golds, both in there. Hi, Joe. Let's see. The bed is a huge bed, huge curvy king size bed, headboard and footboard. That was one of my most popular finds years ago. I painted several beds in that exact style, and she took this one. It was a king size bed, and she had it tufted in black, not black, but like a charcoal gray velvet with rhinestone buttons. So you got a little glam going on, okay? A little bit of glam. Her bedding is, you'll know if you're here, guys, and some people say get to painting. No, we don't just all paint here. Part of painting and making your home beautiful has to do with design as well. And I'm really, really into design. I love to talk about how I come up with my design for pieces. I love to talk about how to incorporate colors. I love to give you a backstory on what's going on and not just showing up and showing you how to do a specific technique. Hello, Sue. Hi, honey. Good to see you. Who else we got there? Marnie from Junk to Jewels in North Texas. Hello, my Texas sister. So anyway, this is a color gray. This is linen, some linen. It's kind of like a grayish color. It's a gray. And then this is the bag that a couple of her pillow shims came in. So you can see this ivory. So she has both ivory and white. So I brought this with me to get this ivory color. And then she also has this gold going on in there. Okay, so some gold. I'm showing you this for a reason. So we've got ivories, golds. We've got a pure white like fluff. And then we've got this gray, and then we also have a charcoal gray. So keep all of that in mind. Linda from Spring, Texas. I always say my hometown. Welcome, hun. Thank you for being here. You guys also, would y'all push the share button? Because we're about to do something really fun. We are about to completely transform these nightstands. So they found these nightstands. They absolutely love them. There's a share button right there. If y'all will just hit that, and it'll send out to your friends. And then that way, if they are just hanging out on their couch and they want to watch how to use this texture additive, not texture, but the Dixie Belle Mud to make some really pretty nightstands extremely glamorous. That's what we're about to do. So anyway, she let me just stand in her room. I went to pick them up. And she let me dream up what we're gonna do. So I will tell you that my husband and I, Matt and I, are gonna do the tops of these just like my laundry room countertops that y'all watched us do live. So they are getting an epoxy resin pour. We're not doing that today. We will do that on my own page probably sometime over the weekend. And it's gonna be whites, grays, whites and grays and golds and a little bit of black. So it's going to look very like Carrara marble with a little bit of color running through it. Okay, white. The body of these nightstands are going to be white. So this board will be white. This will be white. The side trim will be white. The legs as well. Now, can y'all see this bottom drawer? Look at the hardware on this. See this? So this is coming off, obviously. And I'm going to be leafing these in a champagne mix of gold and silver on the handles. So remember, all of this is white. The trim is white. So each drawer is going to be a certain texture that we're about to do, broken up by a white rail. So it's going to be charcoal gray, white, charcoal gray, white. The same with her husband's nightstand, which is over here. We're going to do the same thing to his drawer top, this top drawer, same body in white with the epoxy pour Carrara marble top. The doors are going to be filled in. All of this beadboard is going to be covered up with Dixie Belle Mud right here. This will all be filled in smooth, and it's going to be the same texture that this is that I'm about to teach you right now. So if y'all hit that share button, hopefully we can get our numbers up a little bit and we will let people see what we're about to do. So I'm going to show it to you, okay? I'm going to show it to you. Be ready. It's very, very cool. I have the back plate of one of the handles on. This will be foiled in a different color, but I thought this patina was pretty cool. Isn't that pretty cool, guys? I mean, we do this with the Dixie Belle patina line, right? We can do this very thing, but I thought this was really cool. So this plate will go on about right here. And I'm gonna hold this up and show you if I can hold this plate. This is what we're about to do. Love? Yes, Nancy, this is live. You're right. Thank you. Someone asking. Look, you guys. Look, I want to see some love. Now, do you see why I asked you to push that share button? People need to know how to do this. It is so easy. It is easy. Isn't it gorgeous? Doesn't it look like leather? It looks like leather. Dodie says, wow. Yeah, love. So if you can imagine that this plate is going to be in a champagne silver gold mix, champagne and silver and gold with that big chunky handle on it. And then this will be running down the front of both nightstands. So we will have crocodile, 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 crocodile. And then we'll have broken up by the white bars and then a white, gray, gold Carrera marble top. Is that not so cool? Sue, do you love it? One more time, right? One more time. Isn't it gorgeous? So simple. So simple, and Dixie Belle Mud makes that possible. So, like I said, you can use the texture additive sea spray. If you've got that on hand, give that a try. This is pre-mixed, ready to go. It's smoother. I feel like it's a little bit smoother than the sea spray for this, but I don't think it really matters. Okay, so here we go. Let's do it. I'm gonna pull out, let me put this up here. I'm gonna pull this drawer out. I've got one pre-done. So what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna put the stuff on, and then I'm gonna set it and then do it, and then I'm gonna set it aside, and I've got one already dried and ready, and I'm gonna pull it forward and I'm gonna paint it for you and show you how I painted it, okay? Ah, Sue, you like, huh? I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna angle the camera down a little bit, and I'm gonna make sure that I have all of my tools accessible here. I don't need that, but I do need that. Hold tight and get my little spatula. Here we go. All right. Don't have the app, but I will watch later. What app, Jess, are you talking about? I don't know what app you're talking about. Okay, so I'm going to try to back up a little bit. I know my head's going to get cut out, but so here's what we're going to do. So I've got my mud. You don't have to shake it or anything. It's whipped. I showed you before already. This is what it looks like. Give it just a second. There you go. It's whipped. It's very, very, very much like it's like a mousse. It's like that yogurt, you know, that is like a mousse. So I just dump it out of here. I just kind of spread it out randomly on the drawer, just like this. And you don't need very much. You would think that you want to ice it like super thick, but honestly, there's no reason to. You can get the same exact look by using just a small amount, as long as you've got a thin layer that goes across so that you can stamp into it. Had to tag my furniture. Oh, that's okay, Mary. That's good. That's what I want you to do. Dixie Belle, that's what we want you to do. So that probably isn't going to be enough. I probably need just a little bit more. Yes, we would love for you to tag your friends, share this. I want them to see how easy the product is. And then also I would love for you to follow my page as well. If you will give me a like and a follow as well on Tracey's Fancy. I tagged myself at the top of this video too. And if you'll just check me out over there, you'll see that I am live on a regular basis over there as well. And I post daily and share my projects, and I also write weekly blogs about every single project that I do. So if you follow over there, you always know when a new blog is out. Okay, so what I did was I just dropped a bunch onto this drawer, and I'm just gonna work it back and forth. Now it dries quickly, but as long as you're working with it, you've really, like, I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel like I didn't have enough playtime with it at all. And you don't have to worry about it being perfect. Like if not every edge is covered to the edge, you don't really have to worry about it because the pattern is not, you know, the pattern is very random, and you're going to be painting anyway. So when you do this, you'll actually be able to see that where some of the drawer shows through and it's a little bit thinner. But when you paint it, remember it's going to all be one color and no one's going to notice that it's a little, you know, it wasn't covered. But I was pretty much a perfectionist today, but I had to tell myself, I was like, okay, Tracy, you know, it's no one's going to come along and measure if I got the same exact amount all the way across everywhere. But I do try to cover all the wood. Now, guys, this adheres. I did not have to prime this. All I did was clean it really well first. I cleaned with my white lightning, and I did not prime. This adheres perfectly, and then, of course, you're going to get a nice coat of paint over the top of it, and I even waxed it, and then a top coat as well. So it's set. So that's it. Okay, my entire drawer is covered. Do you see that? It ain't Tracy unless it's fancy. I wish I could make a hashtag that would stick for me. You know, I wish I could. It's a hashtag that's cute. Somebody, y'all want to create a hashtag for me? I would love that. Okay, so then what I did was I just went from one side to the other, and I just lightly drug it across. So I made it nice, kind of smooth. You can see my spatula marks a little bit. I'll show you real quick before I get started. I made sure my end was covered. You know what's funny is this would have been a bleeder. So I know for sure that my furniture piece behind me that I'm going to paint white is going to need Boss like no other, because I can actually see the tannins kind of pull up in here. So if you are going to, I'm going to give you a little piece of advice. If you are doing if you're planning to do a pattern like this, and you are going to do a light color, I would give it a coat of Boss, either before or after. Either before you put the mud down or after you put the mud down. I'd put a coat of Boss just to be sure. I knew that I was going with the dark gray and the black wax, so I knew I was safe, but if I was going light, for sure I would. Okay. So now I take my finger and I just run it around the edge just to take off any excess that's on there. And I save it. I'm saving it on my fingertip because I'm going to scrape it back off and I'm going to put it back in my jar. I don't want to waste any at all. So just like that, I just scrape it back off. I'm going to save it because I'll be able to use it on something else, and I put it back in my jar. Another little tip. While you're working on your next drawer, or while you're working on your drawer, put your lid back on. Put the lid back on your jar so that it doesn't dry out. Okay, next thing you can do, it's kind of good before you start stamping or rolling or whatever it is that you're going to use to put texture on your piece, because you can use absolutely any texture that you want. And yes, we are using the Dixie Belle Mud in white. It comes in black and brown as well. I could, if I had brown, I probably would have used it. Doesn't matter. I painted it anyway, but I have white. In fact, that's all I've ever had is white. Yes, you keep the open mud in the refrigerator. I don't know if it's you know, super organic. I don't know what happens to it, but I keep it in the fridge. What else was I going to tell you? So it's best to let this set up for just a little bit, just like 5 minutes or so. And I can go ahead and pull this other drawer forward while we're letting this set up for a minute. The reason is when you use like your stamper or your roller or whatever it is that you're going to do in this mud, if it's still super gooey and wet, it tends to pull up huge peaks. Now, if you're wanting to do something that you want super big peaks, absolutely, Doreen, that's what this is for. It's to fill in areas. It's a repair. So it's not just to make things pretty like what we're doing here where I made it with this crocodile pattern, but it's to repair things. I mean, the jar says place stencil and secure with painter's tape. So it's actually originally made to use with stencils, but it has so many other uses. Using a mud spatula, spread an even layer, put excess back in jar. Do not wash down the drain. That's a big one. And then remove the stencil after 5 minutes, meaning it kind of needs to set up a little bit. Mud can also be used to fill veneer, gouges, holes, and I think it says scratches. I have stuff on it. You can even create impressions with stamps and other elements. So that's what we're doing right here. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, Debbie, is that it might mold if you didn't keep it in the fridge. So let's see. What else was I going to tell you? Something on here made me think of something else. Oh, holes. So this can be used to fill your holes, like where your drawer holes are. If you want to be put on different knobs, you know, and you want to fill your hardware holes because you're going to use one big solid crystal knob instead of a hardware that has two pokey things, whatever those are called. What does it feel like when dry to paint it? Okay, so let me get there, Connie. That's a great question. Hi, Connie, by the way. If you let this set up, otherwise, if I didn't, I just ran my roller right through it, it is going to give me like these huge peaks that I don't want, because when that dries, it's going to be super sharp and does not feel good. So what I did, and I'll show you guys, we're actually going to go through it. We're actually going to do it. Let me get this one. Hold on. Okay, this is one that I did for y'all earlier today that does not have paint on it yet. I'm going to demonstrate to paint this right here. Okay, do you see this? I'm going to let you look at it up close. Now, when I first did it, it had some peaks over on one side. So what I did was I let it set up and get almost dry, like almost dry to touch. And I just came in with my hand, just my hand, not a sander. And I just went like this. That's all I did. I just went like that. It was still just kind of soft. It wasn't soft enough that it mashed out my crocodile pattern, but it was soft enough that it took those sharp edges off. And it's smooth, like it feels smooth. There's nothing scratchy at all. And now that piece over here, this piece that's got the, in case you came in late, let me show you this piece. It's so amazing. So that's what I like about the mud. I feel like the mud is more malleable, is that the word, than sea spray. So this right here is what we're doing. It feels just like leather to touch when you touch it, especially because it's been waxed. I waxed it, so it feels like leather. It's very, very cool to touch, smooth, and pretty fantastic because I shaded it too. I did some shading. Okay, so you want to let this set up for just a few minutes before you use your stamper or roller or whatever it is, so you don't get those huge peaks, because you're just going to want to knock those down anyway. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I've talked enough. I'm going to go ahead and run a roller through this. It's still pretty wet. Actually, no. Let's paint. Let's set up just a little bit. Let's paint. So let me pull up my paint here. I went with Hurricane Gray. Did you wax after you click up? I'm about to do that. Show you right now, Dodie, exactly what I did. Okay, I'm going to show you my steps. So here we go. This is as if we've already rolled. We've already let it dry. I've already knocked back my peaks, and it's very soft to touch. So I am using Hurricane Gray. It is almost empty. It's a little bit thick because I've had this jar and had it open for quite a while. But that's the beauty, is that I only need a little bit, and I'm just gonna run it right over the top, just like this. Just a coat of Hurricane Gray. Now I will tell you, the least amount of coats that you do and the thinner the coats, the better, because if you're gonna wax it to get that decorative shadowed finish like the drawer that I showed you, you want your wax to be able to hang on to all of those the high areas. And so the more paint, the thicker the paint, and the more layers you have, you are just taking away taking away the peaks to grab onto your wax. So I tried to go super thin today. I'm not adding any water to this. Normally I would. You can, doesn't matter. This was so fast. Like, I created that drawer. I painted that drawer and made it so pretty in such a short amount of time today. So I was like, oh yeah, we can do that live. It's already 7:30, but I'm determined to get through this. So I'll roll at the very end. Okay, I'm gonna roll through my mud at the very, very end. When I am done here, I always go live on my own page immediately after. So if you feel like you need even more information, you can follow me on over to my own page on Tracey's Fancy, and we'll do more of this over there. Okay, so I need to just tip off, see the edge of my drawer? I'm just gonna tip that off with my Hurricane Gray, just like that. Same thing with the other side. I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. Cover that, and then the same thing with this top side right here. Y'all can see this top side. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of gray paint on that as well. The tops and the sides of each drawer, and I only did one coat on the other drawer because we're gonna actually black wax this too. So just like that, nice and thin, and we're done. So we will let that dry. Got my heat gun if I can rush that just a little bit. We may have to just do the waxing on my own page. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna do this. Got this where y'all can see it. Does the mud reactivate with the water or paint? Seems like it would smooth out your texture design. Dana, that's a really good question. How are you, Dana? I guess maybe y'all would rather see my face. Hi. How are you, hun? Well, I did not notice that today. I think if it's dry and you like drowned it and soaked it and it had just set up, it had just cured. I mean, maybe it would, but it didn't today at all. I let it dry, and then I put a coat of Hurricane Gray on it, and then I let that dry, and then I put a coat of clear satin on it, and then I let that dry, and then I put black wax on it. And I was rubbing and none of that bothered it. None of it took any of the texture away at all. Hi, Nina, good to see you. Thank you, Dixie Belle, for answering that question. Okay, so here we go. It has set up for, I don't know, how long has this been here? Maybe 8 minutes or so. Okay, so you can use whatever it is that you want, roller, stamper. You can even use household items to create texture if you want. So this is a Crocodile Roller, and if you want to know more about it, I'm going to take this over to my page and I'll talk to y'all about it over there. It's the same width as this drawer, so I'm actually going to do one pass, and that's it. So I'm going to start over here on this side, and I am just going to roll right through. You don't have to press hard, just real light. It's still a little damp, so it's creating some peaks. That's okay. And if you look, do you see how it missed some areas right here? So you just take your roller, you can do it either side you want, and just roll back over the area that it missed. Just go right over it, just like that. Super easy. I kind of missed a little area right here. I'm going to retouch it. Here we go. And that's it. It leaves a lot of extra on here. I pulled a lot of it off today with my finger and put it back in my jar. So that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna hold this up here, and you can see, because we were in a hurry, do you see the peaks? Can you see all these peaks? If you don't sand those down, those will be really sharp and rough, and that's not what I'm after. See, they look like a bunch of little shark fins, a bunch of little shark fins everywhere. So I let this get almost dry. And then I came in with my hand and I just rubbed real fast and hard with my hand. You could also just use a fine grit sandpaper. You could use one of the Dixie Belle sanding sponges. It just took that peak right off, kind of mashed it down, and I let it finish drying. Let it finish setting up. So let's see, we've got a little bit more time. Let me see if I can heat gun this and see if I can wax. Well, no, I really won't be able to, because we're gonna want to put, let's see, it's my new heat gun. I got a new one. I'm gonna wanna put a coat of clear on here. I don't have to, I don't always clear coat over, it dried so fast, Hilda. I don't always clear coat before I wax, but I felt like I wanted to on this one. I really, really love this Hurricane Gray color, and a lot of times if you don't clear coat, your black wax will give your gray a completely different hue in color, and I really wanted to keep the Hurricane Gray very true. So that is why sometimes you will clear coat. So that's why I clear coated today. And then I black wax. So Hilda asked, how long does it take to dry the actual, she's talking about the Dixie Belle Mud. It didn't take long at all. And I actually rushed it a little bit with a heat gun to some areas. It was probably really well set up where I couldn't put my fingernail in it anymore. I'm in a climate controlled room. I have an AC out here. I think that that probably makes a big difference. Probably about 3 hours, It felt hard, very hard, and I was able to wax over it. But like I said, I kind of rushed it a little bit with my heat gun. So with the heat gun, you guys, you could whip this out and nothing flat. You would heat gun this. My next coat would be my clear top coat. Heat gun that, wax it, and put it aside. And I did wax the whole thing and then wiped it all the way back. And then I went back with my wax brush. I used Best Dang Wax Black and accented the edges and then right around where that back plate is gonna be, the plate for the hardware. So that is that. I think that I have no doubt that you guys are inspired to get yourself some Dixie Belle Mud. It is, it's good stuff. Y'all saw how easy it is to use. It is whipped. It's smooth. It gives a smooth finish. It isn't grainy at all. It just smooths out like butter. You get it all. And someone asked about getting it wet, you know, would that reactivate it? That's actually a good thing, the ability to be able to wet it and dampen it a little bit, because as you're working in an area like a curved area, or you're working around some trim and it's molded, you don't want it to set up too hard and too fast. You want to be able to reactivate it with water and kind of smooth it out to get the shape that you want. So, let's see. Love that you shared the planning too. Thank you, Linda. That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part of the process. So those that follow me here know that. that I like to tell like the whole story, where it's going, how it's going to be used, what colors we had to take into consideration, and what products were going to be best, because Dixie Belle's got all the products. So yay, thank you so much. If you order, please use my link. Please use my link. Please use my link. I would very, very much appreciate that. And if you want to hop over to my page, I will see you over there. Dixie Belle, thank you so much again for having me, and thank you for the wonderful products. I am super stoked about these nightstands, and I am in love with Dixie Belle Mud. So we'll see you guys next Wednesday, okay? We'll see you later. Bye-bye.